Hello and welcome to another Clash Royale video. Today we're going to be looking at a deck that I've been using for classic challenges. I don't know about you, but I consider myself a pretty average player. In grand challenges I probably only average 5 wins, which nets me about 5,000 gold. In classic challenges I probably average 12 wins 6 or 7 times out of 10. So for my 100 gems that probably nets me somewhere in the region of 12 to 13,000 gold. If you're consistently getting 12 wins in classic challenges, your 100 gems will get you 20,000 gold. So if you're good, playing grand challenges is better because you'll end up 2,000 gold better off per 100 gems. But sadly, I'm not. So the deck I've been looking at, or I've been using, is a Pekka Megaknight pump deck. You'll see it's 4 elixir average cost, and it has the Ice Spirit, the Bats, the Zap, the Bandit, the E-Wiz, the Pump, the Megaknight and the Pekka. You'll see I am 10 wins at the moment with this deck, but first of all we are going to have a look at a couple of replays. One to show the major weakness of this deck, and one that will show how good it can be when it works well. So we're going to scroll down to this defeat here, going to hit watch, and what we'll do is we'll fast forward through the first part of the battle. So what you'll see is on the left hand side here, I get quite a lot of damage done to the tower. I get it down to about 600 health. But after this I really struggle to get any damage to the tower. He gets poisoning my pump. I have no direct damage, so I can't do anything about his pump. He then starts using his Pekka in double elixir time, and we'll single time it for the last 30 seconds or so. So we get to a point where we end up in this huge cycle of damage, but I have no direct damage, so I'm constantly having to try and defend, and then get myself to a point where I can try and attack the tower. But between his bridge spam and his Pekka, I can't actually get there. So we'll jump into double speed now, and you'll see that I start trying to zap the tower. But to do that, I'm going to need at least 10 zaps to get that tower down with 3 minutes to go. But in trying to do that, I'm limiting the amount of damage that I can do on my defense. So you'll see that I start zapping now. We'll jump back into 4 times. He starts pushing the other lane to spread the amount of elixir I can use to attack and defend. And there comes a point where I get overwhelmed. I make a mistake, my Pekka dies, and then on this left hand side here, I just die. And so this shows what I feel is the massive weakness in this deck, in that there is no direct damage. You have no rocket, no poison, no fireball, so I couldn't spell cycle him out at the end, and where he got used to my cycle and my gameplay, I wasn't able to break through, and I wasn't prepared to switch lane because I'd done so much damage. So we'll then skip back up to the most recent game, and again we'll watch this in double speed. So I was left with a pretty nasty hand to start with: Pekka, Ice Spirit, Zap and Bats. I always find the Ice Spirit and then the Bats is a pretty good first push, because it's only 3 elixir, you can afford to waste it. Fortunately I had the Pekka for the E-Barb rush when they came in. I make a little bit of a mistake in a moment. I dropped the pump, forgetting that he had the E-Barbs, and the opponent immediately rushes in and does quite a lot of damage. Here we go, it's just popping up now. So he arrowed because he thought I'd drop Bats. I've just managed to save the tower, and then this Prince dies, but the Vapor Dragon didn't follow up, just kills my tower. So I decide to start pushing the other lane for Pekka. Get the E-Wiz down first to destroy the minions with the Ice Spirit. Get Zap to destroy the Skarmy. And the Megaknight and the Pekka combined makes it pretty hard for opponents to stop you, because he does all the splash damage jumping around all over the place, and the Pekka smacks anything else they put down. So at this point it's just spam troops on the right hand side and eventually it overwhelms him and we get the win. So what we're going to do is we're at 10 wins, and what we're going to do is try and get the 12 during the video. So we'll hit the first battle and we will see how it goes. So we're into the first battle, we're against Drakul. I'm ever so sorry about the face cam disappearing. I had some problems with the computer and everything went wrong, but I still managed to keep the game playing. So I'm talking over the recording now, even though I commentated live at the time. So the first thing you want to do with this deck, as I mentioned earlier, is get a pump down. This guy's playing Rocket, so it's going to be very hard for me to get the pump down unless I can outcycle him, which again is very unlikely with 2 7 elixir cards. So I'm going to have to try as much as I can to play without the pump, and try if I can to make positive elixir trades. So the best cards to do that are the Bandit, the Bats and the Ice Spirit. We got the Bandit across the bridge and did a little bit of damage. Got the Bats in to kill the Hog, and dropped a Megaknight at the back just to try and do some damage to the other tower. Support it with the Ewiz and the Ice Spirit. The Megaknight will quite happily clear up the Tombstone. So I managed to get the Bandit down in the back to kill the opponent's Ewiz and zap the Bats, and now the Bandit's going ham on that tower. So I managed to get the first tower quite easily. Still got a couple of minutes left in the battle, so it's going well for me so far. So I might try and pump again, but instead get the Pekka down to deal with this Hog Rider. What you want to try and do as much as possible is get the Pekka down as soon as you see the Hog Rider in that middle slot, because he'll take 2 swings before he gets to the tower, but I was a bit slow and suffering from some lag. So we'll let the Pekka die and just get that pump down to try and build that elixir advantage. Use the Ice Spirit to kill the Bats. Drakul rockets my pump but actually misses, so he wastes 6 elixir and I throw him the oops, because he's just made a massive mistake which will probably cost him the game. So we're going to start pushing the other lane to make sure that he has to split his elixirs to defend. I had a bit of an advantage in this game because his card levels weren't as high as mine. I dropped the Ewiz to take out that Tombstone before the Megaknight got there, zapped the Bats, and the opponent pulls out his Megaknight for the first time. Fortunately I just dropped my Pekka in the middle, so I was going to go for a massive push. And so that kind of got taken out quite easily. Dropped another Megaknight in the middle, and this guy's just got no chance now. 2 Megaknights, a Pekka, Bats, and GG's my friend Drakul, 3 crowns to 0. So I think that was 11. So yeah, the next game is the final one of the challenge. I have to win because I've already suffered 2 losses, one of those due to technical problems as well. Could really do with a new PC. So we're against Adis Morosky. I don't know, I've probably ruined that, of Icon Pari. It's the final game. So get the Ice Spirit and the Bats out, it's a nice 3 elixir little push. Sometimes you get a little bit of chip damage. Get the Ewiz at the back to start dealing with these archers. And then I would assume I'll try and get the pump down once we've dealt with that. He gets a pump down too. So we'll probably be playing similarly heavy decks. So he drops the X-Bow, I get the Pekka down to tank for that and stop it hitting the tower. Probably could have dropped it a little bit closer as he dropped the Ice Golem as well, so that was an 8 elixir push from him. I gave him a lot of time to react. So send the Bats in for the X-Bow, they get taken out, and now we've got the Bandit and the Pekka. Take out that Ice Golem, Bandit will run across the bridge, kill those archers, try and zap the tower to make him start targeting the Bandit instead of the Pekka, and maybe get the Pekka to the tower, but that didn't work. So we'll try and get another pump down. Just going to take that Mega Minion damage if we get it. So we're both now in a similar pump position, 2 on the board, 1 about a third of the way down. Ewiz the slot to try and minimise the tower damage. I'll probably drop that a little bit early. because I didn't get 2 of the goblins. Hit full elixir again, so we're just cycling on the right hand side. Get the Mega Knight in to try and do some damage to the tower. He's doing a very good job of distracting my Mega Knight with the Ice Spirit and then the goblins. But we still get a little bit of tower damage. Expo comes down again, but I didn't have enough for the Pekka, so we had the Bandit down tanking originally. Then we had the Ewiz just doing a little bit of damage to that Mega Minion and the Ice Column. Get the Pekka down to protect the tower again, get the bats in. Fortunately he missed one when he zapped. Get the Bandit in there again to take out the Expo. Get the Ewiz in behind the Pekka to try and support it as much as I can. Drop the Mega Knight in as well in the hope of building up a bit of a push, being that we don't need double elixir time now. We'll be a bit more free with how we play. But no luck. As I say, this opponent has done a very good job of distracting everything up until this point. Mega Knight gets 1 hit on the tower. Bandit takes out the archers. I get the Pekka down late, but fortunately the Ewiz stuns him and redirects him, so we don't take too much damage. He's protecting it with all his worth, so I'm going to drop the Mega Knight. He'll jump across, damage that Expo I expect. Mega Minion's doing work because I don't have any air troops at that point. So we're just trying to finish off the game. It's getting quite desperate, we're in overtime, it's the last game of the battle. I'm throwing everything I can, but not doing much luck at the moment. I dropped the preemptive Pekka thinking that he's going to drop his Expo. And I think he goes, oh no, I thought he went opposite lane, but he drops a defensive Expo instead. So we're just going to let this play out. Drop the Ewiz, drop the Mega Knight. So the Pekka's going to die. And I think everything's pretty much just going to do a little bit of resetting. So we'll take out that Ice Golem. Bandit will have a little bit of health. Probably head towards the archers. So we get another Pekka down to defend. Because he's going to drop that Expo, and this is where he went opposite lane. I was a little bit earlier in my previous prediction. So we got the Mega Knight over there doing work, taking out the Expo. Zaps the tower because that means that it starts targeting the Bandit, which means the Pekka made it there. 1 smack and the game was over. So with that comes 12 wins in the Classic Challenge with this deck. So we took 2 losses, although one of them was due to issues with my computer. So we opened the chest, got some gold, some skeletons, some barbarians, some spear goblins, Mega Minion and a bowler. So if you want to see the deck again, I'll put it on screen, and you can see that it's made up of the Pekka, the Mega Knight, the Pump, the Ewiz, the Bandit, the Zap, the Bats and the Ice Spirit. If you enjoyed this video, please smack that like button below and subscribe for more Clash Royale content.